Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Resti Santika. I'm from the Department of Economics, Faculty of Economics, Andalas University. Here, I will make a learning video to fulfill the final project of an English writing engineering course with the title of the paper, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the effectiveness of online learning. There are 5 agenda that will be described. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, method. Number 3, research result. Number 4, discussion. Number 5, conclusion. Okay, number 1, introduction. The BOT learning system is an online learning system that uses the internet network instead of direct face-to-face interaction between teacher and students throughout Indonesia, including Andalas University. While their parents are low income or from lower middle class, this is also a very critical issue for Andalas University students in terms of how much time they have to study and what data they have. One of the challenges faced by students whose domicile makes it difficult to access the internet is the internet network connection, especially students who live in rural, remote, or disadvantaged areas. This is a problem that often occurs in students who take online learning, so the implementation is not good. Lecture throughout Indonesia, especially UNAN lecture, must be able to create learning models and strategy that reflect the personality of the student in the class. Lecture must be comfortable teaching students using complex internet media that are well packaged, easy to obtain, and easy to understand. This research is very important to be research based on previous research reference because the campus will conduct research at Andalas Padang University, where students have varied characteristics and generally domicile and spread throughout Indonesia. Both methods of learning have a very different atmosphere, both in terms of location and setting, and notably in terms of how the learning content is delivered. Which strategy is more effective for kids in terms of comprehending and assimilating information? How can people know whether they can pursue the learning courageously and smoothly or not? The type of learning approach as well as the COVID-19 will be investigated to see if they are beneficial or not when compared to face-to-face learning. Impact this outbreak will, without a doubt, have an impact on how people learn as a result of the epidemic. Such a condition exists, generating learning shift and shift. There's some technique as been done by COVID-19 by Nursita and Susati Ningsih 2020. The expected outcome of this study can be valuable at the very least as a reference or sort of additional knowledge for both government and community initiative, particularly in the field of education. Number 2, method. This research approach uses a quantitative approach. Research design ex post facto quantitative. Currently in the process of collecting data using research instrument techniques with online survey, a questionnaire, and Google Form. Sample selection as research subject using purposive sampling technique. The period of time for data collection activities is carried out during 4 days from 24 to 28 November 2021. The result of data acquisition are entirely from filling out online questionnaire have been collected, present in tabulated form to be analyzed so that produce descriptive narrative. And the respondent, the research subject, is student in English writing technical class, majoring in economics, Faculty of Economics, Andalas University, with a total of 31 respondents consisted of 22 women and 9 men. The selection of this respondent is students who are assisted by research so that the questionnaires can get the result of the assessment more objective by Hapsari and Fitria 2020. The period of time for data collection activities is carried out during 4 days from 24 to 28 November 2021. With stage number 1 sending a link or link stroke the WhatsApp group application where the link will be directed to the Google form as a application for filling out the questionnaire. Number 2, the result of data acquisition are entirely from filling out online questionnaire have been collected, present in tabulated form to be analyzed so that produce descriptive narrative. Number 3, result. Based on a survey using a questionnaire using a Google form, the picture is obtained as shown in following circle graph. Figure 1, a graph of student opinions regarding the most preferred learning method. From figure 1 above, it can be seen that as many as 71% of students, both male and female, women prefer distance learning method with online system, and only 29% are interested face-to-face learning. Figure 2, graph of opinion regarding the most effective learning method. From figure 2 above, as many as 38.7% of students said the distance learning or online learning had not been categorized as effectiveness learning, because it was felt that it was more effective in understanding lecture material when face-to-face. The same things was conveyed also by Rosalie Elisatiasih, Education Department, University Geography 2020. Even learning material, mostly about 23 people chose 50 to 79% in capturing the material delivered by the teacher or lecturer. Figure 3, graph of opinion regarding a profile if Andalas University continues to carry out online learning for the next few semesters. From figure 3, as many as 90.4% of students majoring in economics do not agree if Andalas University continues to implement an online learning system. A total of 32.3% agree to carry out lecture online, and as many as 48.4% disagree if Andalas University continues to carry out online learning. Model of learning activities with face-to-face method for students in the environment, the campus of the UNAN Andalas University Economics Department is indeed been running for a long time and continuously, while the online model is something new. Thus, for most students, the face-to-face learning method is felt more comfortable compared to the learning method remotely online. For smooth online learning, of course, it takes effort early and self-adjusting by Dina Amelia 2021 decided that you still need to adapt on emotional and mental resilience. The facilities owned by each student as well as the availability of the main infrastructure, namely internet network connection in area with quality is not guaranteed, connection inadequate internet in remote areas as obstacle for students to participate in learning online by Muhammad Ilham, Fikri Ramadan, Arif Ramadan, Faras Gunadi, and Sedi Salim 2021. One of the weaknesses of this online digital learning method is the condition of the internet connection is not good stable, so that the lecture explanation is not full, understood by students by Widya Azila Zahra Sri Latifah and Indah Febriani 2021. Learning through this online method has not become an attraction or less pleasant for most students to accept it by Dina Amelia, Siti Fauzia Anum, and Indah Febriani 2021. Next, figure 4, graph of the percentage of online learning methods against the obstacle faced students, which respect to the answer internet connection problem by 42.9% in distance learning online. Research want to explore further what is the real cause the problem. The next obstacle is bad weather like rain, make it unstable internet connection, resulting in disruption of learning activities by Rahmatul Husna and Tia Razatul Yuhandri 2021. In figure 4 above, it can be seen that there is a line pattern that is almost the same for the problem that is being solved faced by students, both male and female when access the internet. Number 4, discussion. From face-to-face to online, this condition is certainly a challenge for lecturers and students at Andalas University, who have been accustomed to face-to-face learning patterns and models. After running for several months, starting for March 2020, the implementation of online learning has provided many obstacles for lecturers, students, and parents. There are many factors that hinder the passage of these learning patterns, such as the availability of infrastructure, the uneven distribution of the internet network, to minimal knowledge and skill in utilizing and managing online lecture. Based on the favorable condition in the application of online learning so far, many parties have even tried to compare online learning with face-to-face learning, in which face-to-face learning is still considered the most idea and effective for the implementation of lecture in Indonesia. He said that in the face-to-face teaching and learning process, there are values that can be taken by students, such as the process of social, cultural, ethical, and moral maturation that can only be obtained through social interaction in the educational environment. This is experienced not only by one or two students, but also experienced by a generation. This condition made the Minister of Education and Culture try to issue various policies to facilitate and accommodate obstacles for lecturer and students, such as providing free quotas and other. Many students do not agree with the decision of the minister. However, based on research I did on 31 people for the Department of Economic Andalas University, more students wanted to study online than face-to-face, even though face-to-face learning was felt to be much more effective than online lecture. The results of this study are certainly not without a reason. There are several things that make students comfortable with online lecture, including number 1, free transportation. Online lectures that are conducted at home, of course, greatly save transportation costs because the distance that is usually taken tens of minutes by motorbike from their residence to the campus. Now, it's only takes a tenth of second from the mattress to the laptop table. Number 2, no bed, no problem. The condition of online lecture with students in their respective place makes students not to focus on each other condition. Even if you do not take a shower, the body is dirty and the smell the appears is unknown to others. Maybe they will look a little wrinkled when on cam on Zoom. But of course, it will not be so embracing as when meeting face-to-face in offline lecture, especially if the lecturer only use WhatsApp group, then no one will know if there are students who do not shower. Number 3, pretending to be lazy when asked. Question from lecture during lecture sometimes scares some students, especially if the questioner is a killer lecturer and the student does not listen to the lecture explanation. However, with online lecture, students can reason that they have signal interference by cutting off the sound when they are asked a question by the lecturer. Of course, this is not possible when studying offline. Number 4, lecture while on social media. During online lecture may not be able to full manage activities in class. Apart from being far apart, the atmosphere in which student life is also different. Because of this, it is not uncommon for students to take advantage of this condition to open social media such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and other while in college. The reasons are different. Some are bored with class condition, provocated by incoming notification, are busy chatting with a girlfriend or friend, and so on. Number 5, can work by studying. Online lecture, they are not bound by the unit of place, make students free to be anywhere. As long as there are no network constraints, this condition is used by a handful of students to study while working. Even in taking advantage of the condition, some students have even started their own business, as was done by some Andalas University students with ornamental plant business and snack business. Number 6, have a lot of free time. Because lecture and conducted through online media, it is enable that student and lecturer have to face laptop or cell phones continuously from morning to evening. Therefore, it is not uncommon for lecture to provide relief on class schedule. In addition, organizational activities are also carried out online. Even some even are not carried out due to pandemic conditions. Number 7, can help parents at home. With online lecture, many students choose to stay in their original homes rather than living in a boarding house or rented house in the city where they study, especially overseas students. This is what makes them always at home and living with their parents. Many students take advantage of this moment to serve their parents by helping their parents' activities at home, such as cooking, washing, sweeping the floor, and some helping their parents work. From the explanation of my result, we can understand that many things have happened to students and their habits during college. This change makes students comfortable with the condition that occurs. Although not all students feel comfortable with online lecture, the rules of implementing face-to-face lecture still have to take into account the new culture of students during the pandemic. Next, agenda 5, conclusion. Based on the result of the analysis of this result regarding the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the effectiveness of online distance learning, it is clearly seen that number 1, student of the Department Economic Faculty of Economic remain active, take online distance learning in the odd semester of lecture activities year teaching 2020 or 2021. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the effectiveness of online distance learning. Number 1, daring on online learning activities. Most of the students are around 92.1% had problems, so that learning materials were not well received. Most of the students, around 38.7%, answered that online learning method felt not effective compared to face-to-face learning. Number 3, the distance learning method has not been able to work effectively due to some obstacles. Obstacles encountered in the file include: number 1, unstable internet connection or problematic about 42.9%. Number 2, electricity problems by 22.2%. Number 3, running out of credit by 17.5%. Number 4, inappropriate time by 9.5%. However, only very few, which is about 7.9%, answer the internet connection is smooth and there are no problems. Okay, so many learning videos for me, Resti Santika Octavia. More and less, I apologize. Thank you for watching and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.